Howdy, everyone. Wanted to give you a quick update on where we're at for our GasQuip Flex Analyzer, our modular SF6 analyzer, here in this new year. So we've been doing a lot of testing, troubleshooting, prototyping over the past really year. And if you haven't seen our webpage on this, here's what this looks like. So our main three goals with this was to be easy to use, easy to maintain, and then also flexible enough to accommodate new sensors as new gases come out over the years as the rules and regulations change, especially for the EPA. And so we wanted to make a modular system that has sensor modules that you can calibrate. Basically, we would just send you a new sensor module, you pop it in, send us the old one, and it's ready to go. So you don't have to send us your entire unit and pay for shipping and deal with all the headache that comes along with that. So you can see some of the updates and some of the renders that we have, on our website here on our wait list. And we'll be coming out with more and more videos as we test the unit and get further into the development here. So I wanted to show off the user interface that we have so far. So as you start up the device, this is the screen that'll greet you. I should probably preface this by saying that we wanted to get away from the industrial, like HMI type look that a lot of devices have nowadays, especially as this is a device that you're not using day in, day out, or even weekly. You want to be able to turn it on and understand where everything is. It's very intuitive, almost like you were opening up a new app on your iPhone. Kind of a modern take on the type of user interface that we're going for. So we also wanted to go for something that's very high contrast. That was some feedback that we got from people that said that they need something that is very high contrast. If you have a display that's out in the sun or even on a cloudy day, that you're able to see and make out the individual buttons and letters and readouts very easily. So that was something we went for here. So this is what you'll see as the device turns on. And as you click through it, this is not a finished prototype or a finished design by any means. It's kind of more of a slideshow than anything, but this is kind of what it'll look like as you get started doing a test. You'll have the ability to go in and select each of the modules that you want to actually test, and this will be saved to a default. So if you want to run each module for every test, it'll be already selected. But this is kind of demonstrating the functionalities of the device. So if you try to run a test without selecting something, it'll give you an error, and you can go and say, okay, I just want to select moisture, HO2 or H2O, and run a test. Then it'll prompt you, say, okay, do you not want to run SO2? Say yes, and then the device will start running the test. So here you have, I should probably use my cursor here. So here you have the input pressure coming from the switchgear or the breaker. And then you'll have a readout here that shows the storage. So the amount of gas inside the unit that you have stored up. And then as you go, you'll see that the test is running. This is just a progress bar as the test is running. And then once the test is finished, it'll show a readout here of the in this case, degrees Celsius for the moisture reading. So we'll click through, it'll show that the test is passed based on a threshold that you've already inputted into the system, and that'll come with a default based on the standards that are recommended at the time. So as we go through, it'll run through each test that you've selected, and this is just showing that your ppm, your percent SF6 have taken place. And this will be the final screen as the test finished. So it's showing that your SO2 contaminant has failed based on your threshold that you've inputted, and then your SF6 has passed. So pretty nice little setup. It should be pretty easy to kind of tell what's going on based on the colors, and everything is pretty well laid out. So then you can look at your results page, and we'll have some kind of basic information on how much your test passed based on that threshold that you've inputted. And you'll have the ability to pump back. So we have a pump back system, a compressor inside the system that we can pump the gas back into the breaker once you're done. So you'll be prompted to make sure that you want to do that. Say yes, pump back in progress, and then your pump back is complete. So that's kind of how the device functions on the basic level. We do have these buttons here at the top that you'll be able to use, like evac device, if you want to evacuate your device before you start a test or just for maintenance purposes. Then we can go to settings and kind of look through here. So we have our system settings. You can go in and change like your basic time, date. We'll have some other settings in here that you'll be able to use, and a little slider for brightness and stuff like that. So we'll save that, go back. And then we've got our log. So this is like previous tests that we have run on the device. Excuse me. And then we'll be able to go to the module settings. So this will be module specific settings for each module that you have in the device. Our standard device will come with the SF6 percentage, moisture, and SO2. But as we go along in our development, we'll have more and more modules that you'll be able to put into the device. And so those settings will pop up here. You'll have your calibration date, which is when the last calibration was performed on that specific module. And then this calibration due date will show up here. This is a non-editable field, so it'll just be whatever that says. What's nice is we'll keep track of this calibration due date for you. And so when that calibration due date comes due, we'll be able to go and say, okay, this is due. So we'll send you in a little box the module that will replace, say, your SO2 sensor. We'll send you that module. You'll pop the old one out. You'll pop the new one in, and then go in here and save the fact that you've updated the new module. Send us the old module back, and you're good to go. It's all calibrated, ready to go. So that should be pretty nice. So that's what that looks like. A couple more things. You'll be able to change the data format for the different data pieces that you have for each test. So the type of things that you might standardize for like a utility-wide format on, the job number, the reference number, the breaker serial number, things that you want to add in here, you'll be able to change that. So each time you run a test, you have to input those pieces of information so that you have a log of everything that's happened. So that's kind of what that looks like. And then you go back to the main screen and you're back to the main function. So pretty easy layout. We hope that it's pretty easy to use. If you have any questions or feedback, we would love to have some feedback of the screen, things you like, things you don't like, things that seem like they need to be added or subtracted. That would help a lot. So let us know, and we look forward to rolling this out pretty soon here in the new year. So thanks, guys.